Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome to Mario Maker Mayhem, and welcome to another edition of Add or Pass. So it's pretty simple. We're going to go over one character for the day, one enemy from the Mario universe, and then I'll show a little bit of gameplay and then kind of go over the character and then give my opinion if we should add this character, enemy, add the enemy or pass on the enemy for Mario Maker 2. And then, of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, too. Would you add this enemy or would you pass on him? So, today's enemy of choice, none other than Chuck. Chargin Chuck, baseball flinging Chuck, splitting Chuck, football Chuck. There's so many different variants of Chuck, and this is such a great character. I love this guy. Super Mario World is my favorite Mario game of all time. I have a bit of a bias towards it, and I'm not afraid to say that, but Super Mario World is not the same without Chuck. Look at a ton of levels. Chuck is in so many of them. So, and I mean, it's not just in Super Mario World. He was in Super Mario 3D World. He was in Super Mario Odyssey recently. So, I mean, he's kind of come back a bit. He's got some models that they can already use for the game. Such an awesome character. So, yeah, here's a brief little history in the wiki. And again, jump into some gameplay. Give some examples of, well, how the character works if you've never seen him before. But that'll be in, a minute or so. So, brief history again. Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Odyssey. A couple of the games that he's appeared in. Let's see, looks like he was in Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. I didn't know that, actually. Never played Captain Toad games, so that's kind of cool. Looks like he was in the Mario and Luigi games. Very cool, very cool. So there's actually quite a bit variants of Chucks, and now that could cause maybe a problem, but if you put Chuck in, might as well give us... even if you don't give us all the variants, give us a few different ones to play with. So, if you don't know, here's a few of them. So, it looks like we got, like, Lookout Chuck, we got a Confused Chuck, a Passing Chuck, let's see, Clapping Chuck. Here, I'll read the, so, like, Lookout Chuck, basic variant that always charges and tackles. So, basically, Chargin Chuck, the guy that runs after you. Here's the little, see if we can zoom in on this over here on the left-hand side. Yeah, Chargin Chuck, that's him. That's what he is. There's Confused Chuck. He rapidly throws baseballs in a straight line towards the player and then jumps if the player does. So I think more people refer to him as Baseball Chuck. Never really heard somebody call him Confused Chuck. That's weird. Passing Chuck stands in place and kicks footballs and bounces along the ground, bounces all over the place. Clapping Chuck, he stands in place and then claps above him, and he jumps at the same time. So, bit of an obstacle as a character or an enemy. Splitting Chuck, he splits himself into 3 different Chucks, and then they kind of charge at you. Very awesome. I like that. Let's see, we got the Digging Chuck. He digs out rocks, and then rocks kind of bounce, and they have some, high and low bounces and stuff. So, can be tricky. Looks like we got Bouncing Chuck and then Whistling Chuck. So let me jump into a little bit of gameplay. I'm not going to show all the variants of Chucks, but I'll show a couple of them just to, so you guys see a bit different versions of Chucks. Alright, so first Chuck is going to be the Football Chuck. Here he is. Let's get back on screen. Kicks the football, bounces around, makes an obstacle that you got to dodge, but that I didn't do a great job of. Please don't. Please don't. Alright, let's see if we can dodge those. But yeah, whatever way you face, he faces and kicks you a little football in your face. That happens sometimes, but you got to live with it. So let's move on to another Chuck. Up next will be the Confused Chuck, or what I call the Baseball Chuck. Flings all these baseballs at you. He jumps if you jump. So he kind of gets in your way. We all seen Skip Squeak, the little mouse, that they copy Mario's movement, and Mario moves, they move. So Chuck kind of has that little property and well. And of course, if you bounce on him, then he turns into regular Chargin Chuck. Get out of here, you little Koopa. But yeah, there's Chargin Chuck. Ow! I guess I could just use that for Chargin Chuck. But yeah, just charges after. Look at that! Come on, this guy's awesome. Get out of here, Chuck. I like you, but bye-bye. Alright, so now that we've seen a little bit of gameplay on a couple of the different variants of Chucks, let me give my opinion. This is a character, this is an enemy I would love to have in Mario Maker. There's so many cool things you could do. When he's charging at you, he can actually run through turn blocks, he can run through stuff, so he can smash obstacles that would be in your way. You can use them, strategically if you wanted to put them in your level design. to, you know, break something that Mario would have to get access to in order to maybe win a level, because we now have win conditions. So something like that would be awesome. Plus, just thinking about all these different Chucks. And again, I'm not saying give us every single variant, because that would be a lot of work to do. That's a lot of different enemies, you know, in one enemy that you'd have to put in every style. So maybe just give us like 2 or 3 just to start. Give us regular Chargin Chuck for sure. And then, I don't know, how about Splitting Chuck? Because he just splits into 2 more, and then they still charge at you. And then potentially maybe, I don't know, Clapping Chuck, or maybe a Football Chuck, something like that. Baseball Chuck, one of them. So for me, this one is simple. I am totally adding this character. Fingers crossed that he's still in the game. I honestly don't think he is at this point. If Chargin Chuck would have been in Mario Maker 2 at this point, I honestly feel they would have revealed him. But there's always potential for DLC. So for me, this one gets a big solid. I'm adding this. I'm adding him. Get him in there. Throw it in there. There we go. Big solid add. Thumbs up for me. Chuck, please. Mario Maker, Nintendo, please put him in the game. At least maybe DLC. That's always a hope. That's always a hope, right? So let me know what you guys think about this character. Would you add Chuck or any of the variants of Chucks into Mario Maker? He's not really a meme. He's a character, and he's relevant. He was in Mario Odyssey after all. So come on, let's get Chuck into the Mario Maker series. So with that being said, this little add or pass series is coming to an end today, but we shall have another one next week. Not sure the character yet, but I'll figure that out in due time. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, this is Mario Maker Mayhem.